All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
Oh, baby, we're back talking some UFC 329. Max Holloway, Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is back in action after 5 years, and you will know Conor is back when you see the prize pools in the DraftKings lobby. 200,000 to first, 47,000 people in the main flagship contest. Say what you want about Conor McGregor on and off the field, in and out of the octagon. But man, there's no denying the star power he has, the fandom he has behind him. When he fights, people want to watch. That makes me absolutely pumped for this card. But even if you took away Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, and put up some other fight in the main event, we have 14 fights. Fingers crossed we keep all 14 because that is awesome for DFS. Plenty of fights expected to go the distance. Gable Steveson making his UFC debut as well. Top to bottom, I think this card has a lot of awesome fights. I think it's pretty hard for DFS with so many good fights to target. And I do think there's going to be some concentrated ownership when we get to the mid-tier and stuff like that. But I'm super pumped. Cannot wait for Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, fight capital of the world at T-Mobile Arena. We got Nate D, AX, Hebrew Cheetah, and Marquis. Absolutely everyone loving this slate. Big Marley, what are your thoughts on the slate? How are we doing today?
Yeah, man, I love having a Conor McGregor card. I've been around for a long time, man. Conor's the one who really blew up the sport. I mean, he's done a lot of shitty things since then, but it's good to have him back, man. I like the aura is there. I mean, I wish I was in Vegas for this card for fight week. Nothing like a Conor McGregor card with all the Irish fans, man. They're freaking wild, dude. So I'm imagining that's exactly what Vegas is this weekend. It's just going to be a wild time and a wild card, and I'm glad we have 14 fights. I think it's a good 14-fight card because we got some easy 5-star fights that I couldn't wait to put some 5 stars on this fight. But then I was trying to find like one star, and I couldn't do it. I don't think there's any easy fight to fade. A couple fighters I'm okay getting away from, but no easy fight to fade on a 14-fight card. So I think it's a good DFS one.
Agree with that for sure. In terms of ownership, I kind of hinted at some popular fights. Obviously, the main event, Benoit Saint Denis, Paddy Pimblett, is going to be very popular in the mid-tier. And then, of course, anytime you see that name, Terrence McKinney, him and his opponent are always popular. So I think that very clear, the 3 highest owned fights, best 3 fights to target. Big Marley sees it the same with his 5 stars. Main event, co-main event, McKinney, King, Green. When you do start all your teams with those 3 fights, though, I would be a little cautious what you're doing with your other spots. Right now, our current projected ownership has nobody over 50% and only a couple of fighters below 10%. After that, it'll be mixed and matched, and that is perfect for DFS. If you chop 10 ways in the flagship this week, I promise you will be happy again. Almost double the size. It's 200K to first versus 100K to first, and it's 47,000 people. So a lot of people, I'm hoping and expecting a lot of casual money to be in the DFS streets. I think it's an awesome week to jam it pretty hard. Not every slate is good for DFS. That means I don't think you should play the same bankroll every single week for some. I think you should pick your spots in all DFS sports. And this is one of the better weeks, in my opinion, when we're talking UFC with the casuals, with the prize pools, and with 14 fights to talk. So I'm super pumped. And we're going to go bottom to top like always. Try and find where we can get different, what we like, where we can fade. And as always, the like button and subscribe button helps us out a ton, but we got no time to waste. 14 fights to talk about. We're kicking it off with a pretty solid fight here. Alessandro Costa, minus 235. Cody Durden, plus 200. Minus 180 for this fight to finish. Costa, minus 110 inside the distance. Durden, plus 400. Anytime Cody Durden is priced in the lower tier, I almost always have interest. You can see on the stone, 3.99 takedowns per 15 minutes. If he wins, it's usually behind multiple takedowns, and if he wins at 7,100, with multiple takedowns, hard to see him not scoring well, at least a score that you'd be mad at. So I'm going to play some Cody Durden for sure. He's my preferred play because Costa's 2K more at 9,100. I don't think he really wrestles since Durden will be. He is minus 110 inside the distance and plus 275 in round 1. I mean, that's good enough for me to play some for sure. But if he doesn't get that first round knockout, second round is live, maybe needs multiple knockdowns. But Durden, I think, is the one that has to push the pace for Costa to do something, because otherwise he is fine sitting on the back foot, throwing leg kicks and finding his shot. So I assume you're going to have a similar take playing Durden, but I'm curious to hear your take on Costa.
Yeah, Durden should be our minute winner in this one. Like if we're turning off knockouts, I feel like he could kind of hang with Costa volume-wise on the feet. But Durden has to wrestle in this fight, and if he can just wrestle, stay in top control, land multiple takedowns, and control this fight and not get finished, he should win the fight, and he should also score 90-plus points. He should score very well. If he wins, it might be a no Durden, no cash type of week. So I definitely do like Durden. But the moment winner in this fight, whether that be on the ground or the feet, I think Costa could knock out Durden, or I think he could submit him as well. Whether it be the first round or the third, I just think that Costa's going to be live for that finish at any given point. And I don't think he's going to get much ownership either. So I like Durden. I do think he'll get some ownership as a way to get up to Gable Steveson. But Costa's one of my ways to get different on this card. I don't have a whole lot of ways to get different, but I think Costa first round, second round knockout or knockdown, club and sub, I think that is super live on this card. And I think that Durden's aggressiveness is also going to help Costa's, point scoring as well, because he's going to have to at least match that aggressiveness or get that early finish. And if he does, I'm just not going to have to compete with as much of the card as I would if I'm going up to like a 35-40% on Gable Steveson. Oh, muted.
Oh, right away to start the card. That's not good. But that makes a lot of sense. If you just look at Costa's round one prop, plus 275 is about 26%. His own projected ownership right now is under 26%, especially with Max Holloway right here for only 100 cheaper. I'm not saying you have to play Costa. If you leave $0 and play Costa and you fade the main event, that'll be a lot more different, obviously, than leaving the 100 and playing Max Holloway. Do you like that idea? Would you be fine having nobody in the main event and you just are playing Costa and zeroing it out, or leaving 100 on the table instead of playing Max for 100 cheaper?
Man, I don't know. This might be a week where I make a rule for the main event, but
okay.
I don't know. I feel like you're going to need the main event. We'll get to it when we get there, but I don't think I would do that.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. The reason I asked mainly, though, is because McKinney, Benoit Saint-Denis, McKinney and King Green, Benoit and Paddy Pimblett are both really, really good fights, in my opinion, as well, and all in the mid-tier. And it's really easy when you hand build and even optimizers to play all three of those fights, but when you do really have to be cautious with your other three spots. So if I'm playing a lot of teams, which I do expect to play a lot of teams this week, I would be fine in very large field stuff. If you do Costa instead of Max Holloway in the main event and he does outscore him in a vacuum, that could be 3 dupes or less versus 20 plus. And when you're winning 3 dupes or less, I mean, you're winning 75,000+ this week. When you win, how much do you win? So I think I would be fine with it. It's not something I'm necessarily going out of my way to do, but I mean, yeah, he's 26% to win in round one. That clearly has upside. You get 2 knockdowns in there. That is very live to score over 100+. Max scores 98, and he beats him that way. But Durden's the easier click in this fight. You need dogs, but I think ownership will kind of reflect that as well.
Yeah, I do think that makes some sense, actually. I mean, if I was making 150 lineups too, especially, if I'm making 20 or 10 or less, I'm probably looking through to make sure I have the main event in there. And if I just saw, wait, there's no main event in this one, and I just saw Costa in there, it just wouldn't feel good. So I think it would be more of an MME thing. Maybe I won't make it any rule if I am MMEing, but I just know with my hand builds, I'm going to be looking through, making sure I see Holloway. And if I don't see Holloway, I want to see McGregor.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for sure. Got to say hi to a couple people in chat. Mateus in here, appreciate the words. G Pfeiffer, hey, I missed you, dude, as well. I hope life is treating you well. It's been a minute. Hope you're enjoying the UFC streets and life is treating you well. We'll keep it rolling to one of my favorite fights to target on the card. Ryan Gandra minus 135 taking on Zach Reese plus 115. Minus 600 for this fight to finish. Gandra minus 125 inside the distance. Reese plus 175. Round one props, Gandra plus 145. Zach Reese plus 365. and Zach Reese open plus 500 in round one. So he's taking quite a bit of money there. As far as under 1.5 was minus 175, then minus 190 it got to. A little money back on the over, though. It is back to minus 175. I put these odds up on Monday and the inside the distance props up, I believe, this morning. So yeah, money really hasn't moved too much since earlier in the week. With that being said, though, at open, Zach Reese open minus 225 shortly after, found himself as the dog at plus 150, got all the way down to plus 170, and then he's taking some money. So Reese, big favorite. The line flipped to Gandra. Reese is now taking some money on the way back. Just looking on the money line, Zach Reese is the easier click, the better play. Plus 115 at 7,600. There's money line value there with the great inside the distance prop. So I think he's an easy click. I think ownership will be there, though. I think Gandra is a pretty easy click, too. Give me a lot of this fight. What about you?
Yeah, I almost made it a 5-star. I really like this fight. And I think both sides have a really good chance of scoring more than 100 points. But I would just worry really about both sides if this fight gets extended. I just don't know what this fight's going to look like if it hits the second round. I mean, there's a good chance, though, that it doesn't, and we just get 100, 110 points from either one of these guys, and I would imagine that puts them on the optimal lineup. So I might move this to a 5-star because I want to use a lot of it. The more the line changes, the more I have liked Reese, and I think it makes sense. He's the better athlete. I think he is the slicker striker, probably has the better cardio, but he can be inconsistent in fights. He can get cracked himself, and Gandra has big-time power. When I looked at this fight, Gandra was like minus 185, 200 range. And I ended up picking him to win. The more that the line has closed, I feel like the ownership, it's not going to go away, but it is going to go down at least a little bit. And the more it goes down, the more I like Gandra. So he's my preferred play in this one. But for like the world championship, I've even thought like, damn, do I go Reese because he's so cheap and the line is tightening up so much? But then I was like, nah, I mean, he could score 0 points, and I don't know if I can just get away with that in a world championship. But the more that the line is closed, the more I've thought about Reese being like a really good underdog play for DraftKings.
Yeah, from the top, I should have said something. Good luck to you this week. Good luck to Kenny. Good luck to Ricardo. Good luck to Sheets. Anyone else you're watching, definitely good luck in that. Shout out to Rose Bowl. I mentioned it prior, though. He, not the MMA championship, but it was a head-to-head qualifier championship that DraftKings ran, like an online final, and he took second for $40,000, even more money for the world championship. Is it 100 down to 40 down to 15 like it was 2 years ago?
Yep. Yeah, that sounds right.
100 to 40 to 15. Yeah, very interesting. I've qualified twice, have yet or didn't get to the final, hardly even tried this year. But Terrence McKinney, it was him against Esteban Ribovics, and it was on the one to get to the final, and it was really chalky McKinney, and I debated what to do, especially like, the only reason I'm bringing that up is his Zach Reese's floor is 4. McKinney's floor in that one, I think he scored 1, but it's like 3 points. It's really tough, but when they win, they score a lot, and he's 7,600. So yeah, very, very interesting there, especially because first place and 40th place are identical this week. You don't make any extra money regardless of where you place there. You just move on. So yeah,
but it
awesome.
does worry me that a lot of people will have Reese.
Yeah.
And if I'm worried about him scoring 0 and they all score 110, maybe that kills me too.
100%. There are a lot of games there. I'm not, like I said, I've never got there. I made the wrong decision. I almost played Esteban Ribovics that one day, who was only one player played him, and that was shady advice, who I deemed to be one of the best players in the world. So much goes in to those, and projecting ownership in that contest with 100 people is a lot different than flagship stuff and all of that. So yeah, good luck to you guys this week for sure. Obviously I wish I was in there and had to make the tough decisions, but there are tough decisions to make on this card with a lot of binary fights, no doubt. Yeah, what's up, Tracy? He's wishing all of you guys good luck. He or she, I should say. Yeah, we'll get to the Gable talk in a little bit. First, we got to talk about the latest fight that was added to the card. Pricing, I believe, just came out today, maybe yesterday. But Farid Basharat, second biggest favorite on the card, minus 700, taking on John Garza, plus 500. I'm only seeing DraftKings have the fight to finish prop right now. It's minus 145. Individual inside the distance props, Basharat plus 100, Garza plus 750, and DraftKings has the round 1 props as well. Farid Basharat plus 275. So it is worth noting, Costa for 500 cheaper, better inside the distance prop by 10 cents, and the same round one prop. Does that make you not like Farid much? And then break this one down.
Yeah, I really – it's hard to want to get to Farid at $9,600. I think he's only paid that off one time in his career. And I mean, 96 is an extra $100 too. I mean, I prefer like 95 or less. And then not only do you have to worry about paying 96, you also have to wonder if it's better than paying down from Steveson at 99. Who knows what the hell he's going to do on this card. So I just think that Farid is more of an ownership play on this, where you're getting away from that Gable Steveson ownership and you're cutting it at least in half and going to Basharat. I think more than half. And in this fight, Basharat should be looking to wrestle and grapple, and that's how he would score his most points. Because Garza, I actually put this 5 and 1 stars before I even looked at Garza, just based on the line. But I kind of liked what I saw from Garza. He's got some really slick hands, a fast jab, a good 1-2, some heavy leg kicks. But Basharat's a really good striker too. I feel like it's going to be hard to beat Basharat on the feet. And if Basharat feels like that's not going well on the feet, I think he can completely dominate the fight on the ground and look like a minus 650 favorite. So I'm going to pick Basharat to win. I just don't want to pay too much for him in DFS at that $9,600 price tag. I'd rather go down to a handful of other people or go up for Steveson and have a better chance at like a quick win bonus, something like that, where you might really need them. So I have it as a 2-star because I want to get away from this fight. If I was making 150 lineups, Basharat makes sense as an ownership play, and I would get a little bit of Garza just in case he gets a knockout.
Yeah, if I'm playing 150, I'm playing every single fighter but Elijah Ellison, who we'll talk about a little later. But I would play a little Garza. It's really just like if he somehow this fight goes 15 minutes and he scores 30 DraftKings points, maybe that's enough at 6,600 if not many dogs win. I think Farid is the more interesting talking point, though. And I have the same feelings as you. Like, it feels like an overspend, but that's why his ownership should be sub 20%. I do not love teams that have money for Steveson. Like, if you leave 300 with Basharat and you don't go up to Steveson, you are eliminating a ton of dupes. So I'm not going to say that I would avoid doing that or like make a rule not to, but I would probably need 20 plus teams, maybe 40 plus teams to start digging that deep. And that's really just a large field tournament play. When you win, how much do you win, like we talked about earlier. But in a vacuum, it feels tough in a vacuum to go and play Basharat over Steveson straight up. But hey, we've seen crazier things happen. Like, is there a chance he goes out there and gets takedown, Garza gets up, takedown, Garza gets up, takedown, submission? Like, can we just see domination from the jump and enough pressure from Garza or Basharat and just like action early on? I mean, the Basharat brothers just aren't known to do that.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think Basharat would be too good at controlling the fight on the ground, where I don't see Garza just being able to get up and have mat returns. And I also think it could just be a takedown and then he finds his neck, gets a submission, and maybe the fight doesn't even go long enough for him to score well. It's just like 97, 98 points right out of the jump. So I think there's just a lot of ways Basharat doesn't get there. And if he does get there, it's almost like a fluke on this card based on how many people are there. But like, you're right, that could be how you get a solo shipper, just by going to Basharat and not Steveson or a Holloway.
Yep. We'll tackle this question right away and not even wait till the end, just because my answer is none. Like, I do not see I might play 400 teams, or probably not 400, but I'm probably going to play 150 plus teams. I am not even considering allowing a fight stack in any of these. If I have to, I mean, I guess maybe the main event, hoping Conor does have cardio and it's a war, but I really do not like the idea. 14 fights, man. The more fights, the harder it is for fight stacks to get there. And yeah, I think a dog or two at least comes through on this card. So it's a no for me. I'm not even going to pick. Oh, I said the main event, I guess. Thoughts for you?
Yeah, I'm not going to make any GPPs with a stack. I did make a world championship hand-built lineup with a BSD and Patty stack. That was my first go through with my hand build. It ended up as that. See what else I could do around it, and I didn't hate it. I mean, I don't even remember what it was at this point. I've changed it since then, but I wouldn't be completely opposed to using it.
My guess is in cash games and stuff, and in the world, like people are going to stack the main event. It's if there's not going to be any other 3-rounder, people will stack. You can see it though. BSD is absolutely a monster and really brings the pressure. You just really want that fight to go long and hit the over when you do stack it that way. But yeah, to get to the top, I don't think it's the right move in tournaments this week or most weeks. Next fight on the card, Damian Pinas taking on Cesar. Almeida. Pinas minus 240, Almeida plus 205, minus 350 for this fight to finish. Pinas minus 130 inside the distance, Almeida plus 240. Pinas in round 1, open plus 215, now plus 180. That looks really, really nice. Completely different fight from his debut against Wes Schultz, the wrestler. But man, the 24-year-old stayed composed, fought his fight, kept it where he wanted, showed he had power, broke the slate for us. Many probably remember that the first fight of the night a couple months ago when we loaded up on it. And yeah, I mean, this is the fight that Cesar Almeida wants, though. Former kickboxer, finally is not going to fight a wrestler. At least I'm not expecting Pinas to wrestle. I think both these guys are going at it. Oh, man. Minus 205 on Monday, now minus 240 for Pinas. So he's taken some money there. At open, though, it was minus 265 Pinas, and then went to minus 147 shortly after, and he's taken money. It's close. I think at the price and at the number right now, I'm leaning Almeida just because, I mean, he's a striker. He's going to get the fight he wants, and it feels wide right now. And for DFS, we play a salary-based game. We need dogs. He can knock out Pinas at any point. With all that being said, I definitely have interest in Pinas as well at 8,900. And I prefer him to Costa in a vacuum. And I would prefer leaving actually 100 from Max Holloway and playing Pinas than I would like having to spend that 100 with Costa. Plus 180 in round 1 is a really strong number after opening plus 215. This could be a war if Pinas wants it to be. I guess I'll throw it to you. Do you think he wants it to be? Can he force Almeida into a war, not just a kickboxing match at range?
Yeah, I think he's going to have to force that. I think he's going to have to force the action, eat a strike to give one, because he is definitely the more powerful guy. This guy's got scary power. When he's only 24, he's going to continue to get better and probably stronger as well. But yeah, Almeida is the slicker, more skilled striker, way more credentialed. And if it is going to be strike for strike, that's going to be Almeida. And if Almeida takes Pinas deep, then maybe Pinas gasses, you know? So I think Almeida makes a lot of sense, especially on this card, because I don't think he's going to get too much ownership, where Pinas is probably going to be around 30%, I'm thinking. That'll be pretty high on this card. Almeida, I see being around half of that, and he could score anywhere from like 60 to 100 points. But I think on this card, I'm fine with any of those outcomes, in a win, that is. He could also score 0 points because Pinas just freaking knocks him out in the first 30 seconds. And I do think that Pinas has like, second, third highest chance of a quick win bonus on this card. So yeah, my pick is Damian to get the win. I just think that power's real. He's going to get a striking match. It's just he's going to have to blitz him and really connect rather than go strike for strike, because I think the longer this fight goes, the more Almeida can start to read him, and it's just going to get easier for him to avoid those knockout shots. So I think DFS Almeida makes a lot of sense, but give me Pinas round 1.
Yeah, nothing I can argue there. I'm hoping for a fun fight. I would like if Pinas knocks him out probably in round 1 because I'll be overweight, but I also plan on being overweight on Cesar Almeida too. I'm hoping this fight is optimal more than likely. Next fight on the card, pretty much a coin flip. Tracy Cortez minus 114, Wang Cong minus 106, plus 195 for this fight to finish. Wang plus 285 inside the distance, Cortez plus 550. In terms of opening line, it was Cortez minus 170. Less than an hour later, she was plus 135, and it bounced around a little bit and now finds himself at a pick'em. For me, it's pretty easy. I kind of agree with how your stars are. It's dog or pass in terms of – actually, that's not even the right word. It's cheaper fighter or pass. I prefer Tracy Cortez over Wang. The reason for that, the stone says it all. Wang, 6.22 significant strikes per minute, less than 1 takedown. Cortez, 3.86 significant strikes per minute, a little over 2 takedowns per 15 minutes. Wang the striker, Cortez the wrestler, in a very, very loaded mid-range where I think you need big scores. if a fight's going to go the distance, give me the wrestler with a chance to get 90 plus, 100 plus, a lot more than the striker. I still don't love it, but this fight's going to be low owned because it's competing with a very strong mid tier. But yeah, if someone breaks the slate, I think it is Cortez. With that being said, plus 285 for Wang inside the distance, that's 26%. Her ownership might be half of that. I guess I'll throw it to you on this note. How many finishes of hers are optimal? Because again, Benoit, Terrence McKinney, Gandra, Reese, like that range is loaded. So yeah, what's your take?
Yeah, if she got a finish for sure. I mean, I would think a decent amount of those could be optimal at 8,200 just because of the price. But it would probably have to be like round 1 or 2, because if it's round 3, maybe she was on her back for 2 rounds, and at that point it's going to be too late. But I'm not going to take any chances on Wang in this one, especially if I'm making 20 or less lineups. She's just going to be an easy fade for me. I would even think about fading her with 150. I think the only way she gets there is with a knockout, and I just do not want to rely on knockouts in 125-pound women divisions. And I do think Cortez wants to have a full-on grappling match. That's the smartest way to go about this. I do think that she's got a way better chance at hanging with Wang on the feet than Wang does on the ground, but we're not going to get a big score in a 3-round striking match. We can get a big score in a 3-round grappling match, and that would be Cortez. So she is my preferred play. I don't know if she's going to get it done. I haven't bet her or anything, but I'll get my investment in her on DFS, because if she wins, she'll probably score pretty well. And I also don't think she could be too highly owned on this card where there's a lot of big names.
Agree with all that. Yeah, Cortez, my preferred play. Don't see myself playing much Wang, but if you are making a lot of lineups, and again, I realize it sounds like the easy way out, but if you're looking at pros, if you're looking at Cheats, who has hopped on here before and stuff like that, who do play 150 teams, it's about building a portfolio, your lineup making sense, ownership-wise, and Wang will. If you're playing Holloway, Patty Pimblett, and Terrence McKinney, that's maybe a team where then throwing in a Wang Cong makes sense, as she's your way to get different with a lot of chalk around it. So if you're only playing one of those 3 fights up top, I think playing Wang would be very bad. So that's kind of what we mean by when you do play Wang, your team should look a different way than when you don't. What's up, YSN? Awesome to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Crazy, we just went from Pinas to Wang.
Yeah, there you go. Next fight on the card, we got Luke Riley minus 255 taking on Kai Kamaka plus 215, plus 140 for this fight to finish. Riley plus 185 inside the distance. Kamaka plus 575. I'll let you start with this one. What are you seeing?
Yeah, another one I'm really not looking to get to in DFS. I do think it makes sense as another ownership type of play if you're trying to get different. Kamaka, I think he is just a good, well-rounded fighter who can bring a solid pace. He is mainly a striker, but he can mix in a couple takedowns as well. And in this fight, I think he should be wanting to mix in a couple takedowns. But I think that his success in this specific fight would come in round 1, because Riley is a slow starter, so it could look like Kamaka is winning the first round. But once Riley gets going, man, I just think he's just too good, and I think it's going to be mainly a striking match. I think he'll be too fast for Kamaka. The volume will be there. I think the power will be there. He'll be hurting Kamaka a little bit more. But I have this going to a decision, and I just don't really see how Riley really has any chance on the optimal lineup with a decision win. I think he really needs probably a first-round knockout for him to be on the optimal this week. I'm just not going to take too many shots at that. I do think Kamaka makes more sense for DFS because he's only 6,900. It could be a close fight where we think Riley wins, but the 2 or 3 idiot judges ringside think that Kamaka wins. So I think he makes sense as a $6,900 play, and I think he could score anywhere. Same thing as Almeida, like a 60 to 100 type of win. And I would feel a lot better about him scoring 30 or 40 in a loss as well. So maybe he could get there in a loss.
I'm glad I threw it to you first because, yeah, you took all the words out of my mouth. Kamaka is my preferred play. Part of that reason this fight is favored to go the distance. If it does, Luke Riley's not getting there at 9,300. Kai Kamaka still has outs, even if it does go the distance. Kamaka is just a steady fighter that'll fight for your dollar. I mean, the power advantage definitely on the Riley side. I don't see Kamaka getting a finish. 14 of his 18 wins have come by decision. 5 of his 7 losses by decision. He's been knocked out in the other 2. He'll fight for your dollar. Riley's just a striker. Maybe Kamaka can mix in a takedown or 2. Yeah, I think he can make it greasy. Hopefully, when it's all said and done, it's a split decision, and maybe the $6,900 fighter gets his hand raised, because he is my preferred play. As far as Riley, I think you're really just wanting the first round finish. That's at 17% plus 475, 17%. Looking at his ownership right now, though, that's still a little higher than we do have his projected ownership. So it's a tough click in a vacuum. Not even all round 1 finishes would be optimal, but if I do know he's getting a round 1 finish, I would definitely want to be overweight at a low ownership tag at 9,300. But one of my least favorite in the upper tier. Part of that is because this next guy that's only 100 more, Adrian Yanez, looks a lot better. But again, ownership will be different. So Riley, 9,300 minus 255. Adrian Yanez plus, or 9,400 minus 435. So almost double. Cody Garbrandt plus 335 on the other side, minus 180 for this fight to finish. Yanez plus or minus 135 inside the distance. Garbrandt plus 550. Yanez in round 1 plus 250. At first, I was like, all right, this kind of is an easy fight fade because Cody Garbrandt is allergic to fun fights. The dude runs around the cage looking not to get hit, wants to go 15 minutes, take no damage, collect your paycheck. I'm not going to chirp you. I think that actually is probably pretty smart nowadays for him, especially with the questionable chin. But that said, doesn't really have a dance partner on the other side that likes to do that. Yanez comes forward, throws a lot of strikes, punches in bunches, a phenomenal boxer. Cody's chin can be cracked. So I'm going to throw it to you. Can Yanez make it a fun fight while Cody wants to avoid a fun fight? Because I think that's what we need at 9,400. What are you doing in this one?
I think he could make it a fun fight, as in push the action and get a knockout. I don't think he can make it fun enough to be on the optimal lineup in a decision win. But yeah, I also think that the knockout is similar to Riley. It would probably have to come early in the first round. And I think the one worry for Yanez in this matchup would be the power from Garbrandt. If Yanez loses this fight, I think it would be a knockout, just a one-punch knockout from Garbrandt. But if that doesn't happen, Yanez is just the better striker. He's going to triple Garbrandt up in volume as well, quadruple him up. I mean, Garbrandt doesn't throw strikes. He doesn't wrestle. I don't even know what he's doing out there anymore. I can't stand watching him in the octagon these days.
Running.
So I wouldn't mind seeing Yanez get that knockout. I just think that his worry with being the knockout, maybe he doesn't force the action quite like that, and he just goes out there and just tries to put on a good striking match and clearly win the fight. I think he could get a 30-27 and not put himself in too much danger in this fight. But for DFS, that would really suck. So I'm not targeting this fight. I would rather go with Yanez over Riley, but I'm just probably going to try and get away from both of them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I do think Yanez will be higher owned than Riley, but I don't think he's going to be too highly owned. Before we keep it rolling, just want to head over to our Ship It Nation homepage. This is where all the magic happens. You can see we got PGA going on, MLB, MMA, and NASCAR. Usually $99 for your first month. Get you SaberSim and Discord, only $49 for your first month if you do this. Bottom left, join the nation if you want to try us out for a little cheaper. I think it's a good day to try the 5 days for $19 package. PGA locks tonight. Many probably watching this. It's going to be on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, but there is showdown content we have, and prizes are pretty good for the Scottish Open. So make sure to get all your teams in at night. MLB every single day, early slates, main slates. We got you covered there. Of course, MMA, NASCAR on Sundays, very big prizes. Eric does a great job over here for the NASCAR content, so you can check all of that out. Again, $19 gets you 5 days, access to the Discord and SaberSim. Far right, single sport options. We do have those as well, though. If you're just playing MMA every single week, like an NFL MMA or something like that, single sport MMA is your best deal. You can get in for less than $1 a day and just $20 more. You can get SaberSim with that. It makes it a lot easier to build a lot of teams. All right, we're going to keep it rolling. The fight that everyone wants to talk about, Gable Steveson taking on Elijah Ellison. Looking at the odds in this, you don't see it very often, but a minus 3,000 for Steveson, plus 1,100 for Ellison, minus 2,000 for this fight to finish. Steveson, let's see, individual inside the distance prop, minus 1,600. I'm seeing on DraftKings. His round 1 prop, minus 300. he's $9,900. That's like the main talking point. Do you have enough dogs winning on this card? Do you think he outscores the other top tier by a wide enough margin where it becomes feasible to play him? I always struggle with 9,600 and above. You've talked about it plenty. Sheets has talked about it plenty. And now we're talking 9,900. He can get a first win bonus, score 129 points, and still be nowhere near the winner when it's all said and done. For that reason alone, I'm probably going to be underweight. Also, it's just every Steveson team you plug in, it feels like you're going down the same roster path. You're going to play one of McKinney Green. You're going to play one of Benoit Patty. You're probably going to play Conor McGregor, and you're just funneling right into such a similar build that I don't think it's difficult to get different enough. So, I mean, he's minus what, 2,000? What did I say? Minus 1,600 to finish. Like, he's probably going to score 100 plus. Is 110 enough? Is 120 enough? What do you think he scores? I'm going to be underweight, like I said, for all the points I made, but you can't argue. And man, his future in the UFC, if you want to talk about that, do you think he'll be a heavyweight champ? I mean, yeah, his credentials are out of this world, but hey, once you get hit in the face, things change.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that the $9,900 is going to make it tough. And the reason I'm kind of wanting to get away from him is what you mentioned, is that all of the lineups with him are going to be similar to what everybody else is making. You're going to look to go to a Reese because he's closing the gap, to a Krylov because he's closing the gap, and those other guys you named too. And I'm just not trying to have that many duplicates with a freaking Gable Steveson lineup. So I'll probably just try and focus more on the mid-range and not get up to the 99, 96. Maybe 90, under 93 sounds great to me this week. And if I'm leaving some salary because of it, I think that's fine as well. But yeah, I'm pretty confident he's going to score more than 100 points in this fight. I think he's just going to destroy this guy. I think he's going to win in the first minute, actually. But yeah, that might not even be enough at 9,900. So I'm not sure what the heck I'm going to do with Steveson. I know I'm going to just go in, X out Ellison. I'm not sure about Stevenson's forture. I mean, I would imagine he can be the UFC heavyweight champion. I just haven't seen enough of him. I mean, former Olympic gold medalist, made the NFL as well. I mean, that's what you would want if you're like sculpting a fighter out of just athletes. So yeah, I'd say he has every background to be a champion, but we'll see how it goes, man. I think this is a pretty crappy first test for him. But I imagine he's going to go out there, score 110 to 125 points, and we'll just see if that's enough or not. So I forget what I put his ownership at, but let's say he's going to be 38% in the flagship. What do you think his ownership will be in the World Championship?
25.
Really? I was kind of thinking it would be higher just because you're locking in a win, and there's no other way to really do that.
But you're forcing
other than the stack.
I think if you go Steveson, you find another partner like to pair him with versus going before just spitting out stuff. And I'm gonna spit it out, but like a Steveson and Zach Reese, or let's see. Pinas and Lonnie Kavanaugh or something like that. I just think that, and again, I don't know necessarily the prices, but if you're going a huge favorite in Steveson and having them to pick a dog versus two favorites that are around like minus 200, it feels a little more comfortable getting the minus 250 favorites or something like that when like your dog and Zach Reese or whatever can get you 5 points or something like that. Ask me that on Friday. Hit me up in Discord because I haven't really looked at cash games too much or even built for that yet. And I do think a lot of people, especially round one, 40% move on, build more of a cash game style. Mm-hmm. So I'll have to get back to you on that. I could be completely off on that. So if you're in this World Championship, like don't take what I said. It's Wednesday night right now. I am not prepared enough in my cash games and built that stuff yet to make a proper answer to that. That's just my initial thought because, man, 9,900 is a lot of money. When you can go, you're saving 500 for Yanez, but he's still minus 440. You're saving 300 for Farid. He's still minus 700. Like if that upgrades that other second fighter that's a dog to then a favorite, it really would make me consider it. So, but if you think he wins in round 1 and you're putting 120 in his first projection, I mean, you're going to get him in so many teams. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I know for sure what I'm going to end up doing, but I don't know. I was wondering about his ownership in both.
Yeah, hit me up on Friday if you're curious, or Saturday, and I can give you a better answer. I was going to ask you, your boy Josh Hokett. Let's say this week it was Gable, Steveson, Josh Hokett. What are the odds and who are you picking?
Shit. Steveson would probably be the favorite, but give me Hokett, man. Team Hokett all day.
Steveson would have to be the favorite.
Yeah, shit. I hope we see that fight one day.
Oh, me too. Two collegiate wrestlers. I mean, man, I'm very excited to see what Stevenson's got, though, in the UFC. All right, we'll keep it rolling. Very interesting fight here at 205. Robert Whittaker minus 130. Nikita Krylov plus 110. Minus 180 for this fight to finish. Whittaker plus 155 inside the distance. Krylov plus 200. Whittaker round 1 plus 400. Krylov plus 600. So again, I said this fight's at light heavyweight. That does not look good for Robert Whittaker. I mean, he was a small 185er at middleweight. Now coming up to 205, he's going to be tiny compared to all these guys. In this matchup alone, giving up 3 inches in height, 4 inches in reach. With all that being said, though, this is Krylov's 43rd walk to the octagon as a pro, and I believe it's 23rd. Let me make sure I get that right for sure. 22nd walk for the into the UFC octagon, and you can tell, in my opinion, he used to wrestle a lot. He used to be able to strike. I mean, he still can, but the cardio has definitely, in my opinion, is very scary nowadays. The chin is a little more questionable. He looks more stiff. He looks slower. That'll happen when you have 43 pro fights. You're going for your 43rd at only 34 years old. Skill for skill, I think it's still Robert Whittaker all day, even though he's getting up there in age. But yeah, I think either can connect on the chin. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how you think this fight plays out there. Boring at range? Do you think someone tries to wrestle? They get in a car crash right away? Like I think it could play out a lot of ways. I'm curious to hear your take.
I think it has to be Krylov just tries to have to knock his head off on the feet, but he should be looking to wrestle in this fight. He's just going to be that much bigger. If he can get in top control, I think he can maybe finish Whittaker with ground and pound or find his neck, get a rear naked choke. But I think he could be heavy in top control and grind out minutes and win a decision. But no matter what, I think if Krylov wins, he's going to put up a pretty good score in this fight. I think getting Whittaker to the ground will be tougher, and Whittaker is the better, faster striker. He's going to probably even have more power at this weight. But for Whittaker and DFS at $8,700 on this card against the opponents that he's going against, I think we probably need a first-round knockout. You said that is plus 400, which is 20%. I'm probably maxing him right at 20% and hoping I'm getting less than that. Because I would imagine if he doesn't get a first-round knockout, he's just not going to be on the optimal lineup. And if he wins a decision, he could score 50, 60 points. And I am picking him to win a decision. That's why I have this as a 3-star. But Krylov, it's scary to fade Krylov with that size advantage. He's got knockout power on the feet. He's got knockout power on the ground, too, and submissions on the ground. Even a decision from Krylov, if it's a grappling-based decision, could score 90-plus points. Even though I'm picking him to lose, I think I want to be at least with the field on Krylov, if not overweight. I think he makes a ton of sense as an underdog. So for DFS, I'm kind of rooting for my pick to be wrong in this one.
Yeah, I think Krylov will be one of the more popular dogs. Similar to Zach Reese, he's only 100 cheaper. He's plus 110 on the money line at 7,500. That's obviously phenomenal. Then you look at the inside the distance prop of plus 200, open plus 215. There's a lot and wrestling upside on top of that. There's a lot to like about Krylov, which all of that makes me like Robert Whittaker even more because Whittaker is going to be lower owned than Krylov in this matchup. He might be half the ownership or almost half the ownership. If that's the case, he's plus 155 inside the distance, which is good. 8,700 doesn't break the bank. It is overpriced for his money line, but we care about upside. And again, at plus 155, I think if Krylov tries to go wrestle early or really just comes in and makes this a car crash, like Whitaker could find the chin or find some shot. Again, I think he's more skilled everywhere, hoping he does carry more power as he should at 205. It's just a very low-owned play. When I am playing Holloway, King Green, and Benoit Saint-Denis, maybe I'll look at Robert Whitaker as my way to get difference. Again, plus 155 will be low-owned. His opponent will be one of the chalkiest underdogs, so you get leverage. I think a lot makes sense there. So I'm going to be hoping this fight is probably optimal when it's all said and done. It opened minus 160. Now it's minus 180. Just not a fight people are getting to, or I take that back. Krylov is someone people are getting to, and I think for obvious reasons, so I will eat that chalk. When you play Krylov, though, your lineup should be a little less owned than when you play Whitaker, since he'll be lower owned and has leverage. But yeah, good fight. I mean, man, this card, I'm so pumped for this card. This banger after banger after banger. I'm definitely going to be missing and feeling a little left out not being in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. That would have been one hell of a time for sure. All right, let's go to an absolute banger for as long as it lasts. It's Terrence McKinney minus 126. It's King Green. All right, minus 130 McKinney, plus 110 King Green. Minus 1,200 for this fight to finish. McKinney minus 125 inside the distance. Green plus 130. Terrence McKinney in round one, minus 110 after opening plus 110. We talk about it all the time. If we see Terrence McKinney on the card, just load up on both sides. He either wins in round one, loses in round one, or loses in round two. He's really not winning in any other round but one. Banger, absolute banger. I guess, yeah, what's your preferred side? I think without throwing everything away, I think you can easily play King Green and leave 600 on the table and chalk your teams. Build McKinney out, down to Green, don't upgrade anything, and that's how you can eat some chalk. You're giving up absolutely no upside. So that's just the one thing that stands out for me. But, yeah, take it away.
Yeah, Green is going to be my preferred side. I'm picking him to win, but I have it as a 3 and a 3 just because, man, Terrence, he can always put up 120 points, and I don't feel good about Green winning. It's just if Green makes it out of round one, I think the fight's already over. You go ahead and raise Green's hand at that point, and he's going to score a ton of points, no matter if it's a first round or a second round knockout for Green. Or if it gets to the third, Green will still put up a bunch of points somehow, but I just don't see how that's even possible. It's round one or bust for McKinney. He is crazy aggressive. He could win the fight on the feet or the ground. But I think this is a matchup where maybe he kind of looks up to Bobby Green a little bit. Bobby's been around for a long time, and maybe he doesn't come out with that same aggressiveness. And if you don't blast Green in the first 2 minutes, I just think that Green's going to take over and win the fight. So I'll have more Bobby for sure. But I feel like this is a fight I just want to avoid in the World Championship. Maybe let other people get it wrong and hope that takes them out of it, and just load up and have probably 100% of it in the flagship.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of volatility in this one. I'm picking Terrence McKinney. I very rarely picked against Terrence McKinney. King Green's been knocked out 6 times. He's 39 years old. I ever since that bomb feed fight against McKinney where he did take his foot off the gas a little bit and try to fight smart, he got knocked out, and he was like, yeah, I'm never doing this again. It just doesn't work for me. And he hasn't done it since, and I don't expect him to be opening a Conor McGregor main card. This fight got moved from the undercard to the main card. I think McKinney's going to come out, do what he always does, just like King Green. Green's hands will be down. He'll be talking. I don't know how much he'll be able to talk early, though, since McKinney will be all gas, no breaks. If McKinney starts to slow down and King Green feels that and starts yapping, have your phone out, hammer King Green on the money line for live betting. But with that being said, books are definitely have caught on to that. I mean, I remember the Terrence McKinney Nazim Sadikov. McKinney won round one very easily. Check the live line, and McKinney's still a good sized dog. They're not oblivious to that anymore. But what a fun fight. McKinney is my pick. I'm not going to say my preferred play though, because that 600 does go a long way on this card. And again, that is one way you can get different without giving up upside, is playing Green and leaving 600. So he's my pick to win, but I'm not sure I will have more of him to the field when it is all said and done. Again, appreciate everyone hanging out. Man, this card's got me so excited, no doubt about that. Next fight on the card continues to be good. Lonnie Kavanaugh, minus 220. Brandon Royval, plus 185. Plus 120 for this fight to finish. Kavanaugh plus 190 inside the distance. Royval plus 450. Lonnie Kavanaugh plus in round 1 plus 425. This fight open plus 130 to finish, now plus 120. Yeah, I mean, the initial thoughts is it's two primary strikers in a fight to go the distance, so I do not have interest. But if you're a fight fan, you know, you see the name Brandon Royval and you know, talk about all gas, no brakes. I mean, his Joshua Van fight alone is all you need to see. Both guys landed over 200 significant strikes. That is always in play in a Brandon Royval fight. He's my preferred play because he's 7,400. If he wins, it's hard to see him landing less than 100 significant strikes or getting a finish. So a lot of good things to say about him. Lonnie's the tougher one, but it mainly is like, is Brandon Royval going to push a pace hard enough that makes Lonnie do enough work where he can get there in a second round knockout or something like that? I'll throw it to you with that question. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually started this off as a 2-star fight, just in thoughts of I'm going to fade Kavanaugh and I'm cool using some Royval. But I do think that Royval's aggressiveness could lead to Lonnie either getting that first round knockout or just having enough volume for a second round to be there. So I bumped it up to a 3 because I think Kavanaugh makes sense as an ownership play. And he is, $500 less than Riley, who I mentioned as the same type of play, $600 less than Yanez. I see him as a similar type of play as those guys. He's just cheaper. And I do think he is the better striker in this fight. I think he is more powerful as well. But Royval's just going to bring him in. If he doesn't get knocked out, he's just going to be bringing it. I would love to see him mix in some takedowns as well. He doesn't wrestle, but he is a good grappler if he gets it there. So I'm picking Royval by split. Don't feel good about it. Kavanaugh is a really good striker. But I think for me, it's going to be Royval. Makes a lot of sense. He's going to get ownership as well. But Kavanaugh is one of my more favorite ownership ways to get tricky on this card because I do think that aggressiveness from Royval could lead to him getting knocked out for third time in a row.
Yeah, and I agree with a lot of that too. Comparing him to Yanez, to Luke Riley, to Farid Basharat, to even Costa, like all guys that we were fine with but had some concerns with, all of those guys are more expensive than Lonnie. Like he's 8,800, so at least he has a little discount in price where if he does score 96, is it optimal? I mean, it could go both ways. Like a good chance it's not, but 96 at 8,800 versus 96 at 9,300 feels a lot different there, especially if no underdogs win or very few. You could find just a loaded mid-tier 8K range, high sevens that people then are on the winner. So I don't hate it because, again, it's assuming that Royval pushes a high pace like he usually does and makes Lonnie fight. Royval's still my preferred play since he has more ways to get there at 7,400. Great fight, though, as all of these fights are. Talking about good fights, I mean, not if you're talking non-title fights, skill for skill, I think it's hard to draw up a better fight than this one. Talking real life, Corey Sandhagen minus 135, Mario Batista plus 115, plus 190 for this fight to finish. Sandhagen plus 280 inside the distance, Batista plus 500. A rematch from actually Batista's UFC debut where Sandhagen got the win by submission. A lot has changed since then in the sense of Batista's gotten a lot better. You guys know me, though. I mean, I picked Corey Sandhagen against Marab. I'll say it. I looked like a fool. I'm not afraid to admit that at all. I am as bullish on Corey Sandhagen as probably anybody out there. The dude's skill everywhere is phenomenal. His mental is phenomenal. His fight IQ is awesome. His style makes him very hard to hit. His in and out, his movements. Just a phenomenal fighter. And I mean, nothing bad to say about Mario Batista. He can wrestle. He can strike. He'll fight for your dollar. He has cardio. What a great, great fight if you're a mixed martial artist fan. Not just, I like swinging, like two heavy guys swinging blows and someone falls. I mean, when these guys get takedowns, what they do on their back to get up and just every little thing is going to be so high level. With all that being said, I don't think that translates to DFS more than likely since I do respect these guys so much. Curious to hear your take there, but unless Batista's getting 4+, 5+ takedowns, which I guess is possible, since we know Sandhagen can keep getting up. So maybe Batista, even though I'm not picking him to win, is my preferred play just because I think he has more takedown upside. But that being said, Sandhagen's almost twice as likely to finish than Batista. But even a third-round finish probably is not enough in that loaded mid-tier. So I don't like this fight much for DFS. I love it for real life. Picking Sandhagen, but maybe Batista's even my preferred play for 400 cheaper. What do you think?
Yeah, it's closer to a 2-star than a 4-star, but this is my fight of the night. Both guys super well-rounded. It's going to be such a high-level fight. I can't wait to watch it. And I do think that it being fight of the night on a Conor McGregor card could be enough volume on the feet and enough takedowns from both sides. Plus, parlay that with it being in the mid-range, I think it could be on the optimal lineup in a decision on either side. So I'm keeping it as a 3 for now because I'm fine with either side. I'm picking Sandhagen to win. I don't think I've ever picked against Sandhagen. But that $400, if I need 400 on this card and Sandhagen's already in my lineup, I'm fine taking him out, going Bautista instead, because Bautista is that good. I think he can hang with Sandhagen minute for minute. Maybe he could land a big knockout shot as well. I just can't wait for this fight. It's going to be a great fight. But, yeah, it's probably a better fight to watch than play in DFS. So I do lean with it being a little bit closer to a 2-star overall. And I'm not going to be forcing it into any lineups, that's for sure. But mid-range, it should be fun. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, man, so high level. Doesn't get any more high level than that. I mean, the highest level fight on the card, in my opinion. I don't even really think it's too much of an argument. You can say what you want, Max, Conor, all that, Benoit, Patty, sure, but who knows about Conor nowadays? Benoit is just a freaking beast that'll run forward and all that. Corey Sandhagen, Mario Batista, every feint, every single transition on the ground. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. All right. A lot of fun is the co-main event, that's for sure. Benoit Saint Denis taking on Patty Pimblett, minus 142 Benoit. Plus 122 is Patty, minus 215 for this fight to finish. Benoit plus 125 inside the distance. Patty plus 215. Benoit in round 1 plus 350. So we're talking line movement in this fight. Benoit opened minus 200 and now finds himself at only minus 142. That's a little buyback from Monday. As you can see, it was minus 133. Benoit, like I said, Benoit, all action, no breaks. The Stone says it. 5.62 significant strikes per minute, 4.19 takedowns per 15 minutes. He's taken on a really good grappler in Patty, though. So do you think Benoit goes for takedowns like he always does? Do you think he has success? Can he stay safe on top? Are we going to get some striking? What do you see? How do you see it going down?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a car crash. I think they're both going to be going for the knockout early. Both will be going for takedowns. BSD is going to be trying to land ground and pound. Patty's going to be trying to get submissions. I think it's going to be wild. But BSD is just one of my favorite, really all-time DraftKings plays. I mean, this guy's got 3 losses in the UFC, and he still averages more than 100 DraftKings points per fight. Like, this guy is insane. I love the pace he brings. I love the power he brings as well. I think he could finish Patty in any round, but I also think that Patty could finish BSD in any round as well. So I'm just going to load up on this fight. I have it as a 5-star because I want to make sure when I'm looking through my hand builds, let me make sure I clicked on one of these guys. The main event, this one, and the Terrence McKinney fight. I just want to make sure I'm getting those, and then I got to think of how I'm going to get different. But I'm probably going to hand build every lineup, so I'm just going to be hand building in a way where I'm thinking of how I get different after those 3 fights, but that's where I'm going to start them all. Give me BSD to get the win, though. I just don't see me picking against him, really against too many people. I mean, the higher the talent gets, the scarier it is picking BSD because he's not, the safest fighter. He's not even the most skilled fighter. He's just an absolute madman and a powerhouse, and I love it. So give me BSD, and I think he scores over 100 points. Again, he's never scored less than 104 DraftKings points in a win. And I would imagine that continues if he gets his hand raised here.
Yeah, I mean, the definition of all heart. Like, you want a fighter that's going to fight for your dollar. Benoit Saint Denis is one of the best to have on your side. I mean, a former special forces for France. The first fight is his first fight in the UFC, up at 170 against Zaleski dos Santos. For any of my real, true UFC grinders out there, I mean, it was so bad that the ref got fired on the spot. He was supposed to have multiple matches that day, and they did not send him back out there. I mean, the dude literally left Benoit out to dry, just absolutely got pounded. He could have quit any second, waved it off. He fought till the end, took an absolute beating. I mean, it wasn't good. If Corner should have threw the towel, it hurt his career, even though he's still an absolute monster. But yeah, I mean, that fight alone showed everything I needed to know about Benoit. With all that being said, though, I'm on the Paddy side. The reason for that is, I think on the feet it's close. I actually think Paddy's chin right now, I don't know if this is a hot take or not. He took a lot of damage against Gaethje, but I trust his chin more than Benoit's right now. I think the leg kicks will be absolutely money for Paddy, as should the leg kicks and the body kicks for Benoit. But I think the hands of Paddy's better. But why I'm picking Paddy is that, like, I do think Benoit gets a takedown. Him on top, Paddy, I think, is live for a submission off his back. His grappling's that good. If Paddy gets on top of Benoit, I think Benoit is in trouble. I think Paddy is a lot more dangerous on top with the submissions, his ground and pound there. Benoit is very good with ground and pound and all that. But when you try and ground and pound and posture up, that allows you to get an arm snatch, to get reversed some way or another. I just think Paddy has more ways to win. Seeing him as the dog, I think, is wrong. So I'm on the Paddy side in this one. I like how he's 800 cheaper. I plan on having more of him. But if Benoit wins, he's going to probably put up 100 plus. It's going to be an awesome finish. He's probably going to destroy Paddy then or get a sick knockout, and he's going to probably be on the optimal. But I'm on Paddy. This is a phenomenal fight to target for sure, though. Main event time. Again, appreciate every single one hanging out with us. 14 fights, UFC 329 at the T-Mobile Arena. All of our content will be up on Friday. Projections, ownership. The stone will be completed. It'll be color-coded. Slate plan, breaking down all the fights. Big Marley breaking down all the fights for the fight rankings, tier rankings, core reports. Also do have more education, MMA. Big Marley and I talked for about an hour and a half. Everything to do with MMA DFS. Again, you can get in for as low as $19 for 5 days. You can also get in for the monthly, $49 for your first month, or for the MMA only, less than $1. Actually, it's $29, so less than $1 a day. But because it's a weekly sport, you cannot do any wrong with that. All right, this is what everyone wants to hear about. It's Max Holloway minus 225. It's Conor McGregor plus 190, minus 500 for this fight to finish. Holloway minus 140 inside the distance. Conor plus 215. Max Holloway in round 1 plus 500. Conor McGregor in round 1 plus 500. We're talking opening odds in this fight. It was Max Holloway minus 550 at open. Ever since, Conor has continued to take money. I'll throw it to you right away. Is it because of his fan base? Is it because of his stardom? Is it because Conor just should never be a plus 3-something dog at the end of the day? Where do you think all that money's coming from? Where do you think it goes from now until fight time on Saturday? And then break it down for DFS.
Yeah, I think it's casual money, and I would imagine it keeps coming in. I'm hoping it keeps coming in, to be honest with you, because I want to hammer Max. I think right now Max is playable. I think there's value in the current line, but I haven't played it yet. I will play it if it goes up a little bit more. I'll still probably play it as well. But I'm a huge McGregor fan. He's one of my favorite of all time. I think what he's done for the sport, all the bad things he's done, like what he's done for the sport, almost erases all the bad things he's done, just inside the cage, anyways, because he just elevated the sport to a level that we never even thought it would go to. Back in the day, man, his press conferences were more exciting than any other pay-per-views alone. So I love McGregor. I'll always be a fan. But if he doesn't knock out Max Holloway in the first round, I just don't know how he wins this fight. I mean, he is still a skilled striker. He's going to have more power for sure. But he doesn't have a 25-minute gas tank, especially I don't think at 170 pounds, and especially if Holloway is going to throw Holloway type of volume. I just think Holloway avoids the big shot early and takes McGregor into deep waters and drowns him. I just don't think there's any way McGregor can last if Holloway is going to be landing 7 strikes per minute. Maybe he doesn't do that in round 1. He kind of hangs back, plays defensively a little bit more, and lets McGregor wear himself out. But I think after round 1, it's just Max all the way. So it'll be sad to see McGregor lose, but I just think that it's the right way to go out. And I think I heard that like they offered him Prates or somebody like that at first. And why are you offering him Prates if you want McGregor to go out there and get a win? You're trying to feed McGregor to up-and-coming talent. So I think like negotiations went back with a whole different bunch of different people, and they landed on Max. But I think that the max was kind of a UFC thing too. We want somebody who's still going to be a really big name that can beat you as well, not just a Conor McGregor card. So I think it's a max fight, and I think the Conor McGregor days are over. I'm glad they happened. They were fun, man, but I think they're over.
Yeah, I think Cortez would have been the worst matchup for Conor McGregor. Like, how is Conor winning that fight? Cortez is sending that dude with the knee, with the head kick, with something, seeing the stars. Because a lot of like Max Holloway's a 155er that just moved up from 145 not too long ago. So clearly this is not his weight class. Conor's never making 155 again. I'm curious to see how he does look on the scales at 170. He clearly will have the power advantage early. But I agree with everything you said. If it gets out of round one, I mean, Conor has been away for 5 years, probably on the juice, probably on the coke and all these other drugs. I'm going to say probably because you guess you never know. But the dude's that I don't think he's been absolutely dialed into his nutrition, to his body, and all of that during this whole layoff. Like, Max has been consistently fighting the best of the best at multiple weight classes for a long time. So I just don't know how you can't go against Holloway. I'm also debating absolutely loading up the wagon and throwing a big one on Holloway. With that being said, if I do, my butt will be puckered in round one. Max has been hurt. Conor has, regardless of all that, the dude's a sniper. His distance management, his striking, he's a fighter too. Like, say what you want about all of that stuff. Like, when he gets in that octagon, he's going to be trying to put on a show, and he's going to be trying to find that chin. He has the power to do so against a 34-year-old Holloway. But it kind of reminds me of the Manuel Torres Fiziev fight a couple weeks ago, or 2 weeks or whenever it was. I went against everything I usually do. The more skillful fighter, all this I said was Fiziev, and I picked the wild brawler that I think would land the shot. McGregor's not a wild brawler necessarily, but he's the guy that needs the knockout. Otherwise, Holloway's just going to keep chipping at him, and that volume's going to add up. Best boxer in the UFC, like you said, against Cater. I mean, he can put on a show as long as Conor starts slowing down and he gets out of round one. So I definitely want to put plenty of Holloway. I think people will click the Conor name too, not only because he's the main event dog, 7,200, good money line. Just easy to play Conor McGregor when you're comparing him to a lot of other dogs on this card, hoping that leads to him being overowned, which I'm expecting. Makes me load up on Holloway even more. And then if you're sitting with the nuts with Max Holloway and it looks like a pretty, like, just say you need 90 from Max to win, you can then maybe hedge a little bit on Conor, get some good plus money if you want to do so that way. I'm pumped though, man. 5 p.m. Eastern, T-Mobile Arena, fight capital of the world. 14 fights. Fingers crossed we keep all 14. Any final thoughts from you, Big Marley?
I mean, I wish I was out there in Vegas. This would be an awesome card. I hope it is that McGregor atmosphere that we saw back in the day. And if he does pull off this upset, man, it'll be good to have McGregor back and winning in the UFC anyway. So I think no matter what happens, this is going to be a great card. Good luck to you, Title. Good luck to everybody listening. Let's ship it.
Good luck to you in the MMA championship. Good luck to Kenny. Good luck to Ricardo. Good luck to Sheets. If I am missing anybody, I apologize. And let me know in the Discord. Please drop a link in there, Big Marley, or any of you guys watching. I want to be sweating it out with you guys. Definitely a lot of fun. Big money up there. Hey, always appreciate you, Rio. Good luck this week. I know you will be in the streets like always. Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way out. It helps us out a ton. Good luck this weekend. Enjoy some fights. Hopefully we see some Ship It Nation logos up top. Definitely get in the Discord if you join us at the Nation as well. There you go. For Big Marley, I'm Title Town. Good luck. Be safe. Peace.